Hey everyone, I'm Sebastian at Performance Place. This is Matt. He's going to help us with a demonstration of inner elbow pain you talked about earlier, right?
Yeah, feel it through here, a little bit into the forearm and like the lateral side of my hand into the pinky.
So a lot of people would probably call this like some type of ulnar nerve entrapment, or they would say there's scar tissue or medial epicondylitis. Did you have any numbness tingling in the fingers too?
Not numbness and tingling, maybe more like a weakness.
Weakness?
I would describe it.
Okay. So actually, that's good. I'm glad you said that. Normally when there's weakness, it's usually some type of neurological involvement versus like if you had a scar tissue of the flexor carpi ulnaris, you don't get weakness of the hand.
Okay, more numbness and tingling.
Not necessarily. It wouldn't feel numbness and tingling. It wouldn't feel like weakness either. If it was just a muscular problem as much.
Okay.
Unless you like completely tore it, in that case you'd be black and blue.
Yeah.
Right? So I thought we'd maybe bring you in today just to do a demonstration of, you said it feels better, and we were talking a little bit off camera. You stopped working out for how long?
About 3 weeks.
3 weeks. It's really common for people to have things that come about, they rest it for a little bit, and it doesn't feel painful in day to day, and so they go back to workout. Sometimes it presents itself again, sometimes it doesn't, but sometimes people never go back to activity again. They think that it's completely gone. So we can do an examination today a little bit just to see if we can provoke the area, because in theory, if it's all the way gone, it shouldn't be provocable either.
Okay.
Okay, do you have any questions?
No, let's get to it.
Okay, go face up for me. Okay, so normally what we do for these types of things is we can always assess the elbow, but honestly, since he has it down to the fingers, there's really almost no point in assessing at the elbow unless you do something like a Tennell's test. And that's going to be, you're going to find the groove. The groove is going to be into here, and you find the groove and you just tap on it a bit, or you hold it a bit, and if it starts to create the symptoms down in the finger as they presented on you originally, then that would mean it's more of a neurological, because you're actually pushing on the nerve. Most people, when they push on it, they feel a buzzing start, and the buzzing goes down, they let go, and the buzzing stops. It's a funny bone for the layman's terms. But a lot of times you can assess the elbow as well to see if there's any actual laxity in it too. But if it's the fingers, it's probably going to be some type of nerve involvement, whether it be from the actual track itself or it coming from the neck. So we can do something like a neurodynamic test here. There's a few versions of this that we can do, and there's normal responses that people will usually find. So we can do an ulnar nerve bias one. Most of the time people will feel some type of tightness into here. But if you feel your symptoms again into the elbow or the fingers, it's kind of like abnormal. I know it may not be your complete problem, but it's abnormal. But if we did the other side, it may be gone. Okay. So you just let me know what happens.
Yeah, I feel the tightness right there, like from the elbow all the way into the fingers.
All the way into here.
Yeah.
Right. And if we stop it, it goes away.
Yeah, it goes away.
Okay. So there's ways to differentiate this test. I'm not really going to show it too much today, but a lot of times if you move the person's neck, it actually changes their symptoms too. But since you had it in the elbow down here and into the fingers in the test, this is technically a positive test.
Okay.
Okay. Now if we did it on the other side, I'd gamble to say it's going to be negative. Okay. But there's ways that you can solve this problem and make it so this goes away, and so potentially make it so when you go back to full activity again, or you start to challenge the arm again, it doesn't come back again, even though it would go away because you rested.
Okay.
Do you have any questions at all?
No.
One thing you can do is we can load the shoulder or challenge the shoulder to make sure it's moving really well.
Okay.
And we can do that with a shoulder pump approach. Once you straddle the table here and face that direction. The theory with this is you're just taking load away from the areas that may be excessively loaded. If this nerve thing was coming from the neck, ideally if we get the shoulder to work a little bit better, grease it up if you will, then it should slow this area's demand down. Okay, so I usually grab just about here just to provide a little bit of internal rotation. Okay, and I'll usually hold the person up here and just start to pump them like a pump jack. Okay, doing it face down is usually pretty easy. I know that your shoulder is going to lift with this other rendition that I'm going to do with it. Honestly, I don't really care too much unless it creates your symptoms. Does it create your symptoms?
No.
Okay. Because at some point we're going to reach end range shoulder motion, which is all we really want. Okay. There is a way to do this at home. If you grabbed a dowel and then stuck it in your hand here and then pumped it this way, that would usually work okay. Or you can act like you're going to throw darts at the ceiling. Can you throw a dart at the ceiling?
Like that?
There you go, harder. I mean, you're going to hit the ceiling, or there you go. So there's a version like this that he can do too. Okay, so that's one way. Another thing we can do also, go ahead and turn towards me, is we do something called skin rolling. To be clear, if he still had a loss of function of the hand, this wouldn't really work. Okay, this wouldn't work mainly because the motor branches of the ulnar nerve don't go into the skin layer right here. But a lot of times the sensitivity that people have just throughout the forearm and the fingers can be related to just the nerves exiting the muscular layer, going into the fascial layer, and then sitting underneath the skin. And so some high payoff points are going to be right into here and right into here as well. And so we can just grab him a little bit and see if he screams. A lot of times the areas are sensitive when people still have the problem or they have the need for it. But if he doesn't have the need, this really doesn't harm too many people. Unless you're on blood thinners, then don't do it. You're going to bruise yourself. Okay? So you work all into here and all the way down. Oh, sorry, camera angle, huh? And you can grab into here and do all that kind of stuff.
And I can do this myself?
Yeah. Go ahead and give it a shot. Good. Probably the biggest mistake that people make is they just try to pinch themselves.
Okay.
Okay. The second most common mistake is according to the comments, is people say, my skin is too tight, I can't grab it. In that case, you're going to find a spot that you can actually grab, and this is the wave, and you're going to roll the wave into the spot that you're actually interested in. Okay. And then I'm getting into here. It is harder to grab you here, which is okay. Doesn't make you a bad person. Okay, and then you just kind of roll through there. So you kind of use the wave to roll into it versus like, I can't grab it.
Right.
And you can do the same thing into those regions too.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions with that?
No.
Okay. Normally too, if it is starting with the neck, we do have to do some type of neck treatment. That usually doesn't require them to be adjusted. It doesn't require self-traction or anything like that. There's usually a couple exercises or stretches they can do at home to support the neck and open the appropriate tunnels that they need. We have a lot of other videos on YouTube where we've covered things like that, and we have some of the resources down below. We do have those as well. So check out the resources below, but if you want any help from us, we're in Costa Mesa, California. We offer virtual and in-person services, and we see people like this all the time. And the good news is most people do get better, especially if they address it really early. Any questions?
Awesome. Now I want to give that skin rolling a try next time I start experiencing that again.
Perfect.
See if it works.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. Subscribe and like the channel.